Yo, what's up guys? Metaphor here doing a class setup video. This is highly requested from my Twitch chat and obviously some YouTube comments. First things first, I want to say thank you guys for all the support on the Call of Duty content. Getting a lot of views, a lot of new people in the streams and in the comments that I've never seen before. So yeah, again, I just want to say thank you so much for being here, and we're going to continue uploading daily. And if you guys do have feedback for the editor in any of our videos, please feel free to leave feedback in the comments. Not only does it help the video get more traction, but me and the editor, Delga, we watch the comments every single day and we will see everything you guys put. So thank you guys so much for watching, and hopefully you guys can learn something from the class setup. First things first, we have an overkill class with the M13 MP5. This is probably my best, sweaty class that I go for. This covers all three ranges: extreme long range, mid range, and close range. The M13 is more so for mid and long, and the MP5 is for close. This is the setup that I use on the M13: monolithic for extra range damage, the longest barrel for more range damage, VLK because this gives this gun virtually zero recoil. This is a setup that I've been using personally for basically since the game released, and I've gotten a lot of other people to try it, and I think it's really great, but a lot of people don't use it. Like, a lot of big streamers don't use it because everyone's using the Grau, which is a great gun, but this gun at long range will beat a Grau. I promise it will. Commando, it gives you the best recoil control at long range. Aiming stability is nice, and then obviously 60 rounds so you can laser people. The reason why I'm using the M13 here instead of like the M4 or the Grau is, like I said before, at very, very long ranges, the M13 does win out. It has one of the best headshot damage in the game, I believe, and the rate of fire is insane. So if you have a good shot, it's actually insanely, it's a huge laser. So I highly recommend this weapon. Obviously, like I said before, I'm overkilling the MP5 here, and the reason why I do this is because even though the M13 is a great weapon, at close range, you lose to everything. So the MP5 is the best close range weapon in the game, and even if some people might not want to admit it, as someone who has a ton of experience on this game, the MP5 actually beat out the snake shots at close range when those were a thing. So the MP5 has been the best close range weapon in the entire game since its release. And that's basically that. So we have the monolithic integral suppressor. The reason why we're using this, honestly, I don't know the math behind things, but I've been told this is the best mathematical attachment for the MP5 in terms of barrels and muzzles, so you can't really quote me on that. This is just something that I got from people, and it's been working really well for me, so that's why I'm using it. But if something else comes out, if this gets nerfed or buffed, I will change it. I'm not really too concerned about that. I'm just going with what I think is the best. So this barrel is definitely it. Merc foregrip, this gives you better recoil control in general. The MP5 actually recoils like a bitch, so Merc foregrip brings that right down. I'm only using this at close range anyway, so hipfire accuracy is really good as well. And like I said before, you're going to win out most close range fights with this setup anyway. 45 round mag, this is where there could be some debate, but I personally believe the 45 round mag is much better than the extra damage on the 30 round. And the reason for that is because if there's two people there, you will die every single time if you have the 10mm 30 round mag. And I know a lot of people take sleight of hand on this with the 10mm 30 round, but even if you get caught in your reload, it doesn't matter if you have sleight of hand, you're going to die anyway. Now, if you're behind cover, sure, there might be a different story, but as you guys can tell from my gameplay, I kind of go balls to the wall and hardcore rush people, and the 45 round mag makes the difference all the time. Stippled grip tape for the obvious speed that it gives you, and then F-Tac collapsible just for extra speed as well. Anytime I'm pushing a building, I will always pull this gun out. I will never ever fight anybody at like mid-range with this weapon. It is complete dog shit from mid-range. So if I'm pushing a building or people are rushing me, it's MP5 time, and if I'm fighting anyone at far range, it's M13 time. That's about it. For perks, double time so I can get on the map faster, overkill because I need it, and amped because it's honestly the best third perk slot in the entire game, and swapping between weapons is very easy. Plus, another thing with amped that people don't know about is it actually lets you throw out your C4 and flash grenades faster. So I highly recommend taking amped on all your classes. I know people talk about taking a spotter. I think battle hardened is not that usable because most people run heartbeat sensor, which I actually think is really bad given the amount of people that wear ghost. But if people ever start using Zuns more, battle hardened will probably be the best thing to take. But as of right now, amped is definitely the best. But people are taking spotter and tracker, and I just don't believe that these are very good perks. So amped is the way to go. Alright, so the next couple classes are a little bit weird. Like this MP5 class here, you'll notice that's the exact same setup as my other MP5 with no overkill. This is so that in the middle of the game, I'll buy a loadout early on with overkill and then swap to restock because I think restock is the best tier 2 perk. I know people are going to argue and say ghost is the best, but as someone who plays aggressively, restock pays off way more because I have infinite stuns and grenades. So this class doesn't really need to be went over. It's the exact same class. It just has restock. So like I said before, we will rush 10k, buy a loadout, and then we will, when the free loadout drops, we'll switch over to the restock class. And then we'll have the M13 plus the MP5 plus restock. The M4 is kind of the same thing, except if I'm just feeling like using an M4, I'll take this class off the bat without overkill, and I'll start the game off with restock. So my M4 setup here is the monolithic stock M16, again the best range possible. Commando, it helps out at range. I know people like Merc foregrip. Merc foregrip isn't bad, but since this is my only weapon in this class, since I have a knife, the reason why I use a knife is for the mobility, by the way. I don't actually try to slash people with it. Since this is my only weapon in the class, I want to maximize for every range. So I have the Commando, foregrip for the extra range and recoil, like I said before. 60 round. This could be 50 or 60. The difference is that you get a little bit faster with the 50 and less recoil. So whatever you kind of want to do with that, this is actually completely preference based. I don't actually think there's a best one. Whatever you want to do with that, 60 or 50. Stippled grip tape to go in faster, aim down sight. So this is more of an all-purpose weapon, and I hardly ever run this class personally, but the M4 is one of the best guns in the entire game. And if you're just not really comfortable with sniping, or you just want one solid weapon and then fast movement speed, this would be a good class to go for. And then you'll notice with all my classes, it's double time restock amped with the C4 and flash grenade. Now, something I didn't mention before was the reason why I'm taking flash over stuns, and I know some people are kind of going to get a little hurt over this, but stun grenades on people that are using controller actually have very low effectiveness. I've been killed several times by people that have full stunned, and they are just tracking me perfectly through their stun grenades. Now, don't get me wrong, if someone gets flashed, you could still technically get lasered, but even if they're on controller or whatever, no matter what you do, if you're flashed, you are shooting blind, right? So I feel like the flash is a bit better in that regard. The hitbox is a lot bigger if you're just trying to check a room. And in general, I just think it's easier to get kills with it / check rooms. So the stun grenade has failed me several times. The only issue with the flash grenade is you don't know how hard someone's flashed for. So you're not so much using it to stun them and then push them because they can't fight back. You're more so using it for like a little bit of disruption / knowing exactly where someone is. So that's kind of the purpose of the flash grenade and why you see me running it over the stun grenade right now. And that's mainly just because I'm butthurt because I keep getting killed by controller players with the stun grenade. My fourth class is obviously the Grau. This is a gun that everyone's been running. A lot of people would consider this to be the best gun in the entire game. And I do have to agree that its mid-range is completely uncontested. And at long range, if you're mounted, this gun is an absolute beam. In general, this gun is just, it's so insanely overpowered. But at extreme long ranges, I think it loses to the M13, and it does not do well at close range. At very, very close range, you can lose to a lot of things like the M4 and the MP5. So I think this gun is the king of mid-range, and it's an amazing gun for Warzone. I don't think it's necessarily unbeatable, but I do understand why everyone runs it. I think it's a great gun. Obviously monolithic for the range, Tempest 26.4. This actually changes the iron sight on the gun compared to if you use a different iron sight, and it gives you probably one of the best iron sights in the entire game. And something you'll notice if you watch my last Odin video, that this gives you basically the same iron sight as the Odin. This is the reason why the iron sight on the Odin was so good, is because we're basically ripping the iron sights off this gun and putting it on that. So tac laser for the extra aiming stability and ADS. Commando foregrip again for the range, recoil stabilization and the aiming stability, and 50 round mag for just a lower recoil, just a bit. Don't get me wrong, this gun already has pretty low recoil, but I don't really find myself needing more than 50 rounds more times than not, so I like the 50 round mag on this gun. Again, the knife, this is a gun that I'll use sometimes without an overkill. I'll just bring out the knife and then I'll run around with restock. It just kind of depends on how I'm feeling in the game. I'm not saying one is better than the other. It's more so just how I feel in the game. So double time restock amped like always. This one has Semtex over C4. The only upside to this is Semtex is better for killing people than C4 is. C4 is awesome for killing vehicles, but C4 falls way short when it comes to actually killing people. And you have more control over where the Semtex is going compared to the C4, because they can be kind of tricky when you throw them at long ranges. The MP7, again, this is a non-overkill class, so this is just if I want to use the MP7 as my main gun. Shout out to my boy Winston, this is the class he usually runs. He's the best player I've ever played with, he's a fucking goat, so this is basically homage to him. We got the long range barrel, monolithic, tac laser, basically the same stuff for this class. I think the only difference would be, I think he's using the commando foregrip and I'm using the merc foregrip for the close range, but I think commando or merc is acceptable here, and obviously 50 or 60 based off what your preference is. So if you guys don't really like the merc foregrip, I think commando is very acceptable on this weapon. So the knife again for the movement speed, and then the same perks as always. Now, this is a overkill sniping class. My main sniper rifle, and pretty much the only sniper I use in this game, is the Kar 98, because I truly believe that the close to mid-range sniping is way better than the long-range thermal sniping. I don't think that's a good way to get a lot of kills in a game. Now, don't get me wrong, you can get kills that way, and you can do well that way, but it doesn't really fit with my playstyle of mass aggressiveness and just straight up rushing people. So you're not going to find an HDR in my classes, but you're going to find the Kar a lot. And when you watch my stream or my videos, it's going to mainly be the Kar 98 over the HDR. Now, going back to the M4, compared to my first setup that you guys saw, I don't have the stippled grip tape, and I have some other things switched up. Right now, this is a muzzle brake. This is kind of something I've been experimenting with and actually like a lot over monolithic sometimes. This gives you way less recoil control, but obviously you're on the map. But I personally don't mind being on the map because I want people to know where I am, because I'm just going crazy for kills every game. I don't really care too much about the win. Obviously, I love winning, but getting a massive amount of kills is my go-to. Like that's what I deeply want to do, and this gun is more so for close range anyway than long range because I'm overkilling with a sniper. So having a monolithic on this gun is not as important because I'm fighting it close to mid anyway with this M4. That's why you're also going to see me running the M4 or the Merc foregrip here and the no stock for the extra movement speed. So this is more of a close range M4 gun, and it doesn't really recoil that much even though I have a no stock on it. But it's obviously not as good at long range, and that's where I'm mainly going to be going with the Kar 98. So, stock M16, 50 round for the reasons why I said before, and that's pretty much that for this gun. And then the Kar 98, this is probably my favorite gun in the entire game. I've had so much success with this weapon, and I think it's probably in the top 3 guns in the entire game, and it's so underused. Whenever I kill people, they never have it. So I highly recommend, if you guys like sniping or you guys like my videos, to check out this gun. It is so amazing. So first things first with the monolithic, this is just to hide off the radar. The damage range doesn't really matter anyway because you're only going for headshots, and if you don't hit them in the head, this gun is just tickling anyway. So monolithic is, I think, just kind of necessary to be off the map. The 27-inch barrel for more bullet velocity, so that your gun doesn't drop as much when you're shooting. This gun still has immense bullet drop, and it's got a big learning curve, but once you get used to it, it's a complete dream. So I highly recommend it. Tac laser for the ADS and aiming stability. Sniper scope because it's necessary. I've seen other people talking about using the 4x. I think this doesn't have glint, but I don't think it's as good as the sniper scope. So the glint is there, but it's not a big deal. I still think the sniper scope is the best. And then we go stippled grip tape for the extra ADS because you're using this thing close to mid-range. Well, close to mid, or mid to long-ish. Like, it's a pretty all-purpose rifle. Sometimes you need to be able to bring your gun up fast, and it's really necessary to have the stippled grip tape and to be able to zoom in as fast as possible. Obviously, if you guys are trying to play as aggressive as me, you'll know in a lot of my clips I'm quick scoping people at close range, which obviously isn't optimal, but this allows you to do that, and it allows you just to be more versatile with your weapon. That is the setup of the Kar, and then obviously I've double time, overkill, amped, again, the classic perks that I always run. This class is more so made for solos, so I do have a heartbeat on this class, but this is the only time I'd really take a heartbeat. I don't take heartbeat in squads. I don't really believe it's very good, so heartbeat sensor instead of flashes here because I'm playing solos. This is my Kar class. If I just, again, you'll notice this is like my MP5 class. I have the exact same setup on my Kar. This time it's just a knife with no overkill. So pretty much the same standard stuff. This would be one that I take in squads because I don't have a heartbeat. But yeah, this is the same thing as the MP5 class. It's just normal Kar with no overkill. Now this is like my other Kar class with the MP5. This is just if I want a hardcore rushing gun, which is my classic MP5 setup, mixed in with the Kar. So it's the exact same Kar setup, exact same MP5 setup, except mashed together. This is another class that I use for solos, and then we have the heartbeat sensor on this class. So this is pretty straightforward. This serves the same purpose as the other class. It's just a different weapon, the MP5. Now we're back to our final, or now we're on our final class here. Our final class is an MP7 Car 98 with Cold-Blooded, which will be kind of awkward because I actually think this perk is dog shit, except for if you're camping and you don't want to get spotted by thermal scopes, which I know people love taking Cold-Blooded. I just don't think it's very good. I have a Heartbeat and a C4, and the weird thing with this class here is I've fully loaded on my MP7, and I also fully loaded on my car. And the reason why I do that is because if you get gulagged late into the game, once you take your class off of a care package, you're going to have no spare ammo on any of your weapons, right? So what I do is I have a spare class where if I get gulagged in late, and I know I'm not going to get another care package, what I do is I take this class because I can come in with double full ammo on a sniper rifle and an MP7. And the reason why I chose these two weapons is because this gives me the best coverage at all ranges in the game, because you don't know what situation you're going to be in late game in a solos match or a squads match. You got to be ready for anything. So I think this gives you really great coverage at every range possible, and that would be the only reasoning for this class. I would never ever take this class at the start of the game because you always have full ammo. This is only taken at the very end of the game. And obviously, yeah, like I said, we have the heartbeat sensor and the C4 because I think these are the most versatile in a late game scenario. Anyways, that would be it for my class setup video, guys. I really hope you guys enjoy it. I know a lot of my classes are pretty similar, but that's because I think I've gotten this game pretty figured out in terms of what is the best. I hope you guys enjoy the video, and if you guys have any other ideas for other videos, feel free to leave a comment in the comment section below, and hopefully you guys enjoy the daily uploads. Peace out, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a good day.